Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
Decision to release by-election date before council meets unusual but necessary, Deputy Mayor says. Police ID man fatally shot inside Bulletin home during alleged robbery attempt. Man and a woman arrested in string of armed bank robberies in Willowdale. Ontario government says it has doubled number of long-term care home inspectors. Trudeau says he's bothered by Google preventing some Canadians from accessing news. Canada sending 4 more battle tanks, ammunition to Ukraine.
These were the headlines and let's jump right into the details.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says he's bothered that Google is limiting access to news for some Canadians. Trudeau says the tech giant has decided they would rather prevent Canadians from accessing news than pay journalists for work they do. He added that he thinks it's a terrible mistake. Google confirmed earlier this week it is blocking access to online news for less than 4% of its Canadian users in what the company says is a short-lived test in response to the Liberal government's Online News Act, which it opposes. The bill would require digital giants such as Google and Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, to negotiate deals to compensate Canadian media companies for displaying or providing links to their news content. The parliamentary budget officers has said the bill would compensate digital platforms by covering 30% of their costs for creating news. Trudeau made the comments in a brief statement following a press conference in Toronto on Friday. He began by telling reporters there is an issue that's been bothering him. Deputy Mayor Jennifer McKelvey says she's hoping that Council will confirm on June 26 by-election date announced by the city clerk yesterday for a Toronto-wide vote to find a new mayor. John Tory stepped down from the post 1 week ago, but Council has not yet formally declared his seat to be vacant. While Council typically has to do so before a by-election date can be set, City Clerk John D. Elwich announced the June date for the vote on Thursday. Speaking with reporters at an event to mark the 1-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine Friday, McKelvey acknowledged that the move by the clerk was unusual. However, she said that it helps provide some reassurance to residents that the process for choosing a new mayor is underway. The next scheduled meeting of City Council is not until March 29. A number of councillors have indicated that they are not in favor of having a special meeting earlier than that in order to expedite the by-election process because city staff needed time to plan what is expected to be the largest by-election ever held in Canada. The by-election to choose a new mayor is expected to cost around $13 million, almost as much as general municipal election held by the city just a few months ago in October, which costed $14.5 million. The city has said that from an administrative point of view, by-election for a mayor of Toronto requires the same efforts as general election. While Elwich has announced a by-election date and nomination period before council has had a chance to weigh in, McKelvey said she is hopeful that councillors will approve the dates he has set out when they meet at the end of the March. While campaign period will be shorter than normal, McKelvey said that she thinks the residents of Toronto will be watching very closely and have full confidence in their ability to select the right person for this job. The nomination period is not expected to open until April 3rd, but a number of potential candidates have already said that they will run, and several others have said that they are exploring bids for a possible run. The Ontario government says it has doubled the number of its long-term care inspectors. The province says the hiring of 193 new long-term inspection staff, including 156 inspectors, is part of a 3-year $72.3 million investment. Long-term care Minister Paul Calandra says the new hires strengthen the province's inspection regime as part of the changes the government brought in late in 2021 to bolster enforcement. Those changes came in the wake of scathing independent report that found the province's outdated oversight and chronic underfunding contributed to the COVID-19 pandemic's deadly consequences in long-term care. The government says the additional staff mean the province now exceeds its goal of 1 inspector for every 2 homes in Ontario. Earlier this month, the government said it was proposing increased fines for long-term care homes who don't meet requirements to have air conditioning in every residence room. Police are appealing for information after a group of teens allegedly robbed a student at knife point outside a Mississauga middle school earlier this month. Police say that the victim was exiting a school near Heavenwood Drive and Haven Glen at around 2:40 p.m. on February 13 when they were surrounded by a group of 8 masked suspects. The authorities say that an altercation ensued, during which one of the suspects produced a large black knife and robbed the victim of a gray Nike sweater. The suspects then fled the scene on foot in a southern direction. They are all believed to be approximately 15 or 16-year-olds and were last seen wearing all black clothing and black ski masks, police say. The victim did not sustain any physical injuries as a result of the robbery. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced on Friday that Canada is providing Ukraine with more weapons, which he said will help the country win on the battlefield against Russia. Canada will donate 4 additional Leopard 2 main battle tanks to support the armed forces of Ukraine, growing Canada's contribution to 8 tanks in total, Trudeau said. Canada will also donate an armored recovery vehicle and over 5,000 rounds of ammunition. New sanctions are being imposed on nearly 200 more people and entities that Trudeau said are complicit in Russia's ongoing war with Ukraine. Canada also announced it will ban certain chemicals used in manufacturing of electronics from being exported to Russia. The added support is on top of the $5 billion Canada has spent already to help Ukraine following Russian President Vladimir Putin's decision to invade 1 year ago. More weapons will allow Ukrainian people to regain their territory, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told reporters in a press conference on Friday in Kyiv. He praised those who have showed up for Ukraine, including people who covered paths of the world in yellow and blue and the colors of Ukraine's national flag. That includes Canada. From coast to coast, thousands of Canadians were expected to take part in some 40 rallies in support of Ukraine, spearheaded by the Ukrainian Canadian Congress. Many of them were to be candlelight vigils in the early evening. The year-long conflict has taken a deadly toll on the Ukrainian population, with tens of thousands of civilians killed and millions more displaced. Halton Regional Police have identified the man who was fatally shot in a Milton home last Sunday. In a news release on Friday, police said the victim killed in the February 19 shooting was 21-year-old Alexander Amoroso Leacock of Toronto. His identity was confirmed following an autopsy. Police had said that the shooting occurred during an alleged attempted robbery at a residence on Gibson Crescent. A group of suspects entered the house and were confronted by an occupant inside. Shortly after, several gunshots were fired, police said. Amoroso Leacock was pronounced dead at the scene. Meanwhile, 2 people were subsequently arrested. Police said 22-year-old Alimia had been charged with second-degree murder, while 20-year-old Romario Clark is facing 1 count of break and enter and 1 count of unauthorized possession of a firearm. Mia appeared in the court last Tuesday. A lawyer representing him told reporters that his client was defending himself and his mother from alleged armed intruders. Police said the investigation is ongoing. Investigators continue to look for 3 outstanding suspects who fled the scene in a white vehicle. On Friday, police released a photo of the vehicle believed to be a Dodge Charge with a sunroof and black wheels.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.